Welcome
to Nerdville.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. You must be cautious.
Oda is teasing us with a Joy Boy backstory in the next chapter. Not only this, but we may finally have confirmation on the fact that NIKA and Joy Boy are two separate entities. If this is indeed the case, this could give credence to a point we brought up in our chapter 1111 review, that NIKA could potentially be a fictional character and not a mythological one.
Ah, shit! Here you go again!
We believe that the Hito Hito no Mi model NIKA was originally not a god, but a comic book or cartoon character. We will first go over the existence of actual comic books or fiction in One Piece, how or why the fruit might have been created from one, and explaining why Luffy's Gear 5 abilities are a reflection of what a cartoon character would do. Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. If you haven't become a citizen of Nerdville yet, how about giving it a whirl and subscribing to enjoy more One Piece theories and reviews?
Do it.
Vegapunk in his speech mentioned that Joy Boy had rubbery powers, just like NIKA from the Tales of Elbaf. Vegapunk only knows of these tales through the current giant, so we could assume that the tales of NIKA are after the Void Century, since all knowledge before that has been erased from history, apart from the poneglyphs. So we cannot be sure that NIKA was actually a deity. Perhaps the concept of NIKA as a god was born after the heroic tales of Joy Boy after the Void Century, meaning NIKA himself could have been based on a comic book character. Kaido, when fighting Luffy, said it reminded him of a character from a comic strip. This confirms that the concept of fictional character exists in One Piece, and we can assume that the advanced civilization had comics or cartoons. But not only this, we have seen that actual comic books exist, with Germa 66 comics, as stated by both Law and Hawkins when they witnessed the glory of This is also seen in the story of Nolan. Even though we know Nolan was real, people believe he is part of a tale. With that in mind, could something similar have happened with NIKA, where when the world was reset, maybe a giant found the comic NIKA is based on and made it into a godlike figure? Certain aspects of reality are often lost in history, much like with Nolan and potentially NIKA.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Now, how could the NIKA fruit have been born from a comic book?
Well,
as we have stated previously on this channel, Haki seems to be alive in all living things. We have seen this many times throughout the series, like with how swords seem to have a will of their own, selecting their wielder, or even acting out sometimes, like we saw with Enma. In the case of swords, we know that this can be tied to the Haki that swordsmen infuse in them, or the will of the swordsmith who creates it. This is also the case for the Mary, for instance, who is not only able to sail the Straw Hats to safety, but also seemed to be able to communicate with Iceberg.
Arigato.
It is largely believed that it is because of the Haki of the crew that the Mary was able to gain a personality. In both cases, Haki is involved, and links back to the idea we had in our chapter 1092 and 1106 reviews about the Iron Giant and how he came to be. If you haven't watched these videos, check them out. But the basic concept is that Haki seems to be something that is able to give life to certain objects. This is also tied to what Vegapunk said about devil fruits in chapter 1069, that they seem to be created by people's desires or willpower. Haki is desire and will made manifest. Perhaps a disaster occurred 800 plus years ago, much like Vegapunk described in his speech, about the One Piece world sinking into the sea. And this event was a trigger for people to wish for a savior. Thus, the Hito Hito no Mi model NIKA fruit was born. It also can't be a coincidence that the moment Vegapunk reveals his theory about devil fruits happens just after he witnessed Luffy's Gear 5. Since Oda is the king of foreshadowing, it wouldn't be surprising that this is intentional. Now, why do we believe NIKA was born from a comic book and not the Tales of Elbaf like Vegapunk mentions?
Simply put, it is because of Gear 5's TOON world ability.
Or antagonist, depending upon your point of view, the TOON skull.
When a devil fruit is based on a mythological creature or deity, it reflects the type of abilities that the creature or god may have. For instance, Sengoku's Hito Hito no Mi model Daibutsu makes reference to the Buddha. Not only its very large presence, but also is golden like many portrayals of Buddhas. Similarly for Kaido's mythical fish fruit, which represents Gyarados. Chinese dragon. Kaido's fruit is based on the tail of a carp climbing the waterfall in order to become a dragon. Similarly to this tail, Kaido's dragon form is able to fly, but by climbing through the air. The abilities of a mythical Zoan fruit are based on the tails that they derive from.
I see. No, I don't.
Okay.
For Gear 5, it seems to be the same thing. The first thing that we could point to is the absence of color when he transforms, since he becomes white, just like a character from an old cartoon, or black and white comic books like manga.
His abilities are also related to that of a comic book. Given the sound effects and onomatopoeias which appear when he fights. We also have seen Luffy start breaking the fourth wall in a way, by winking at the audience or painting the baseball bat he created black with hockey, instead of letting Oda do it himself. Breaking the fourth wall is a classic cartoon character trope. In addition, the Drums of Liberation, which seem to be a special ability, could also potentially be NIKA's soundtrack, or OST from the show he was in 800 plus years ago. Since it seems that the drums can not only be heard by Luffy, but everyone else. There are quite a few other comic moments as well, such as Luffy punching through people, or the moment where Luffy rotates his legs so fast that he can run through the air. All of these winks and references to cartoons by Oda in Luffy's Gear 5 form might be more than a shout out from the GOAT to his love for Tom and Jerry, but an indication that NIKA was in fact not a mythological character but a fictional one.
NIKA as a fictional character looks more and more possible. Between the fruit's power being rubbery and every attack and interaction with the user is cartoonish, the reference to comic books existing in the One Piece world, and Haki potentially giving life to inanimate objects or concepts. Let us know if you agree in the comments below that NIKA is indeed a fictional character, or are we just full of shit?
You're full of shit.
You're full of shit.
You're full of shit.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you're still starving for more One Piece videos, here's our video on why Imu is actually the Demon King Satan himself. Or if you need something to wash your dishes and fall asleep to, we also have a full Kuma backstory video for you to watch. Check it out.
Peace out!